Graham Glasgow, offensive lineman, played right guard for the team, was a key free agent acquisition just a couple of years ago, was an Ironman, and then he dealt with a couple of injuries when coming to Denver, which, have been unfortunate for Graham there. But, like for him, coming off of a very, very serious injury that he sustained in a meaningless play right before halftime in the Broncos' big time win against the Cowboys, a play that should have never happened. Where is Graham Glasgow at in his recovery? Here's what he had to say yesterday.
Things are good. I'd probably say about like 85% or so, maybe a little under that. But things have progressed like super, super well. And I'd like to think I'm a little bit ahead of schedule here. So, as I said, things are going good.
Graham is a subscriber here on our YouTube channel, though, by the way, Sarah. I will mention that. He watches Lockdown Broncos. Graham's obviously been very great to us in interactions that we've had with him. But, even like for him, the injury that he sustained, very serious, ruled out right away, had to have surgery. But it's like when you hear the detail as to like what actually happened, Sarah, I can't imagine. Someone who's torn his ACL, like that sucked. But just imagining what he had to go through with both ligament and bone structure damage, that right there would have been a huge issue for me. Here's what he had to say about the actual injury that happened.
I tore a ligament from my foot to my ankle that had to be repaired, and then I tore the ligaments in my high ankle, which needed to also kind of be repaired as best as they could, and then I broke my leg, and that had to be fixed with a plate. So it was it wasn't very fun for me, but that's okay.
Didn't sound very fun, and I'm very fortunate. I've never had to deal with that. But for him to be where he's at, and he believes he's ahead of schedule a little bit, Sarah, I think that's good news because right now everyone is talking about it. There's some anticipated training camp competition coming up where Glasgow expects to be ready. I think he believes he'll be ready for training camp, but he and Lloyd Cushenberry might be competing for the starting center job here in 2022.
I think that's going to be a fun competition to watch. I think he's going to be motivated coming back from this injury. Obviously, he talked about in his press conference, he wasn't even able to walk in shoes for 3 months after that injury. And you just hear that list of injuries that he went through on, like you said, a meaningless play before the half against the Dallas Cowboys. Really just a bummer for everyone watching the game to see that. But man, he's fought his way back, and to be at 85% or close to 85% right now here in June, I think that's awesome progress for Graham Glasgow. So I'm excited to see him get back on the field. Look, I think he's got a lot to prove, right? He restructured his contract to stay in Denver, and he wants to go out and prove to this new coaching regime that he can be a starter at multiple positions for them, because obviously he started his, in Detroit, he's been at right guard. He's played the other guard position. He's played center. He's done a little bit of everything. He even talked last year about the fact that I could play, I play right tackle. I've not done it a lot, but I would try. So, he would go out there and do it just because I think he's a ball player, Cody, and he's ready to
Yeah.
get back on kind of that. He was on a Pro Bowl trajectory, I felt like, and he got the big money contract from the Broncos in 2020. And unfortunately, the injury bug just it spares nobody. It goes after anybody and everybody, and unfortunately, he's got bit by it. So hopefully, he can come back healthy, and hopefully, we get to see him in the starting lineup, because I think a veteran-laden offensive line would be a lot of fun to watch for this Denver Broncos team.
Well, not to mention as well for Glasgow, he's just a team player and he's restructured his contract as well to return to Denver. Denver could have had the out, they could have moved on this offseason. The Broncos approached him with a restructure proposal and he was willing to do it. So he took less money, restructured his deal to be able to come back to Denver. So I think this says a lot about Glasgow, especially like for him. He values Denver. He's been bummed out that he's been dealing with some injuries, but I think this is the ultimate sign of saying, hey, you know what? Yeah, I certainly understand. I've been injured. I've been dealing with it, but I still want to be part of what I believe is something special here with the Broncos. And